I don't know what Sunday holds. I don't know. But I think the Nuggets' response tomorrow night, this is when I was talking about how I think the series is going to be fascinating.
Yeah.
I expected OKC to get crazy last night, Brett. I completely agreed with you
Because that's
yesterday.
what this team has done all season.
There were only two outcomes possible, and I leaned heavily on the second one. It's what we saw. I think the Nuggets' response tomorrow night is going to be telling, like you said, Vic, but I think it's going to be fascinating because I think they're really going to come out hard and strong.
Okay. Can I make – I know we do operations around here. I'm not going to do an operation, but it's just more of a statement of who I think the Nuggets are. If the Nuggets don't have to win, they don't.
Yeah, they're very. You know what I like in the Nuggets too? When I used to make my kids mow the lawn, and they would just get it done. Right? They just got it done. I mean, it wasn't like the precise mow that we required. They just got it done. The Nuggets get it done, and they surprise you at times. And they surprised you on Monday night. Again, if I had asked you Sunday, after that 7-game back and forth with the Clippers, that you are guaranteed one game in OKC. And I can't tell you the final scores, but you're guaranteed one. Would you have taken it?
Yep. And I couldn't care what it looked like, how it went down. I couldn't care less. Just give me a dub and let's get home.
It doesn't
give me
carry
a split.
over.
Let's get
Guys,
back to Ball Arena.
It doesn't carry over. If you're fearing that the Denver Nuggets are sitting at home cowering right now, thinking to themselves, "Oh my God, we just lost by 100. They're so much better than us." I'm telling you, that's not the way it works. That's not what they're thinking. They're not thinking that.
Okay.
You might be thinking that. You might fear that. We might, but that's not the way they operate.
Okay. I'm going to repeat something I said in the appetizer. And this is when I was being accused of being was just passing the buck for a bad night, right? I wasn't affected by last night's blowout loss for a number of reasons, which we've laid out earlier in the show, but just to go through them again, I think that they were due for a game like this considering the rest that OKC had and the fact that the Nuggets have been playing physical, emotional basketball for about 2.5 straight weeks. I think that desperation that was felt by the best team in the league this year, as opposed to the Nuggets being a bad front-running team, also factored in. And I said, I just don't think they cared all that much about last night. And once they saw OKC knocking down shots, well, hang on. I'm not saying from the tip, but they saw, okay, we're missing shots and they're hitting everything, whatever, don't really care. And I go, if you feel like that is wrong, then the only other conclusion you can come to is OKC is that much better than you are. And that's not the case at all.
The Nuggets may very well lose this series. I don't know what the outcome is going to be. I just know this. What you saw last night, that hurricane of sorts, the thunder clapping, that ain't happening tomorrow night at Ball Arena. I guarantee it.
Right.
You guys know me. Very, very few times have I regarded a guarantee on this show and leaned on my loins, whatever's left of them. I guarantee tomorrow night's going to be different than what you saw last night.
I believe you.
Down in my plums.
I'm not the guy that you need to convince. I'm sure there's some Nugget fans out there, and again, these are the catastrophists. And maybe you're right, catastrophists. I choose not to go there right now. Maybe you're right. Oh, the Thunder just showed who they really are, and they're going to roll for the rest of this year. You may be right about that. They're a very good young basketball team, and maybe their time has come. But I don't feel that way. I don't personally.
You're old enough to remember this. Do you remember, and this is NBA terms now, not real terms, do you remember the Boston Massacre of the 80s? Do you remember that term? Do you remember in the Boston-LA Lakers final series in Boston, the Celtics put one on the Lakers like they've never gotten put on before, embarrassed them. And people thought, well, this series is over. Lakers won that series in 6. This happens. It's happened before. For all of you who say, well, championship teams don't lose like that. Really? Lakers were a championship team that year. It happens.
Yeah.
It's happened before. I'm telling you right now, it's not fun to lose that way. Getting embarrassed on national television, not fun. I wouldn't worry about it.
You know what it felt like, Mose? You would understand this reference. Remember in Wedding Crashers when they play football? And Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson are like
hot route.
They're out there trying to have a good time. Owen Wilson's trying to hit on his chick, that sort of thing.
So good.
And then Sack is playing for keeps and like busting rib cages. There was a difference in intensity last night between the two teams.
That's what we call a sack lunch.
Yeah.
Num, 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 num.
Yeah, like the Nuggets were Vince Vaughn laying on the ground going, and the Thunder were sack.
When you allow the Thunder to do what they do best, and that is to swarm when they come at you with numbers, and I'm looking at some of the role players that they possess, and I'm going, oh, my God. I mean, Caruso gets you one night. How about Cason Wallace last night, who could do no wrong? Cason Wallace. Then they come back with Wiggins, and then they come back with Isaiah. I mean, they got so many
They got dudes. They got a bunch of dudes.
So many dudes.
Yep.
One thing I do suggest, though, guys, and follow me on this one. We heard from Michael Porter after the game, and he mentioned it. He admitted it. He just can't get his left shoulder to work properly so that the guide hand on his jump shot is where it needs to be.
Yeah.
All right, so if you're watching here online or on Altitude Television, that left hand to square your shoulders, and Chris Dempsey did a great job explaining this last night. If you want to square your shoulders to the rim, this shoulder has to come out a little bit. That guide hand has to come up. He can't do that.
Yeah.
His shoulder's not allowing him to do that. So what's happening is that left hand's back here, and it's affecting his jumper. So if we know this going forward, if he's not going to be able to play, oh, my gosh, I've got that book. If he's not going to be able to play at that level, then do you make a change there?
Well, I think, yeah, perhaps you do. Or does he have one of those nights in him? You know what I mean? Look, do you start Russ instead? Is that the route you're talking about?
Well, it doesn't have to be that. It could be whatever you.
Because Vic, hold
you
on a
play
second.
Strother more minutes.
Okay, but because when you look at his shooting the first two games of this series, it's really bad. All right, and I know he had some good games against the Clippers, but it's been really bad. But if we know it, and Oklahoma City knows it. Okay, so even if he's on the floor, Brett, and he's wide open. Is MPJ really a threat to OKC? They were absolutely, in the early going in that game, did anybody even try to guard Christian Brown whatsoever on the perimeter? They didn't have a guy within 10 feet. They're like, go ahead, baby. Go ahead. And they, you see what I'm saying? They've picked and choose who they want to shoot the ball.
That's the funny thing, though.
And the Nuggets didn't make him pay.
Here's my counter to that, Vic. And it's not even really a counter. Despite everything that you've said and despite his struggles, they guard Porter still on the perimeter. He still creates some spacing. Now, I would be very quick with a hook is what I'm saying. I think you still start him. You keep everything the same. Yeah. It's worked so far.
That's why I asked the question.
And then I think you let him take a couple of shots.
Sure.
If it looks ugly and he can't play defense and all that kind of stuff, then he gets the yank. And, yeah, maybe
I feel terrible for him. He's clearly in pain. He's clearly hurt.
No, he's trying to play through what looks to me to be tremendously painful.
But he's had games in which he's really helped.
Well,
throughout this postseason.
Understood. 15 points, right? I mean, are you going to get the 28-point effort that you hope for?
No, you aren't getting that, but you aren't getting that from Strother either.
I didn't say you would.
No, but all I'm saying is, again, I think there's a very underrated value by his presence being there, which is just to create spacing because they won't leave him alone. They won't. But not like they did to Christian Brown, not like they do to Russell Westbrook. They won't do that.
I just went through the roster of the bench players for Oklahoma City. Cason Wallace, Caruso, Isaiah Joe, Wiggins. Any one of those guys right now
would be playing for us.
Would be playing and fit that role.
Yep.
If not all four of them.
Sure.
I agree. I'm going up and down the lineup. Well, everybody got a piece last night, though. I mean, Jones got everybody got a piece last night for everybody.
Wait,
so
what do you?
It's not really a telltale sign.
You asked the question. Did you answer it? What would you do?
I think I would approach it the way you just did. If you could tell it's not there, if he makes a couple shots early and he can overcome the pain, as he did in the Clippers series in a couple of those games, you leave him in there. If it's not working out, I think, you saw the energy that Russ brought as soon as he entered the game. I think you got to make the move earlier.
Is this – I don't know enough about what's going on with his shoulder, Vic. I can see the pain. I can see the wincing. It's not fake. Is this a surgery thing in the future, or is this a rest thing?
Time. Right. He said it last night. He said it's time. The only thing that will fix his shoulder is time away. And right now he can't spend time away.
What about one of them Tyrod horse needle things?
Well, who knows what they're doing just to get him to play.
Yeah, no kidding.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's wearing like a shoulder pad for crying out loud. I know this during the huddles, they're spraying stuff on him. I don't know if they're spraying Lysol. I don't know what it is.
Is it like that soccer stuff that they do?
Soccer spray, yeah.
Yeah. Get right spray, whatever that is.
Magic soccer spray on the butt.
I put Vicks
and by the way,
vapor rub on my chest
Have
yesterday.
you ever seen? Have you seen a guy? I hope I'm not stepping out of line here.
Yeah.
I've seen soccer players and the trainers come out
Yeah.
and they pull their shorts down and they spray their butt. I'm like, why are you spraying his butt? Like, what's wrong?
It hurts.
Well, sometimes your butt hurts, man.